Broadcasting with Google Sites. Creating a web page used to be very complicated. You needed to have special software. You needed to have a web hosting company. You needed to get a domain. You had to spend quite a bit of money, and you had to speak a different language, which is HTML, which I'm not fluent in. And along came Google. First it was Google Pages, and now it's called Google Sites. Wow! So having a website is absolutely within the reach of everyone today. For free, you can go ahead and have as many websites as you want. I don't believe there is a limit, but you can create websites of all different types, of course, following the terms of service. And to get to Google Sites, you need a Google account or a Gmail account, and then you just go ahead and log into that. And once you log in, then you would go to Google, and under there's a black bar across the top, and you can navigate to your Gmail, your Docs. And if you don't see it across the top as Sites, just go to the More, and you might even have to go to the Even More, and all of a sudden you can click on Google Sites and go ahead and get started. What's great is you can make a single page or you can make a deep website. It depends on what your needs are. What I love about it is there's no HTML required. And that's the language of the internet that I can use the internet, but I just don't know HTML very well. You have templates to pick from, backgrounds, all different things that you can go ahead and look at. There's help there for you, but most importantly, it is free, which of course we all love. These are just a few of my sites, so I just keep making new ones and trying out different things and seeing what I like, and it really helps me to kind of get a feel for everything. So I kind of play. That's how I learn new things like Google Sites. You can see I've shared almost everything with everybody except for the last one, which is my syllabus for my tech camp. I've only shared that with 3 people. So like Google Docs and Google Calendar, you have control who sees your site. So it doesn't have to be open to the public. A lot of times people want to keep it private while you're doing the building and the constructing part before you let it loose for everybody in the world. This is one example of one apps in education. I was making an attempt to record all my favorite apps. I'm not doing a very good job, but I do try. And I love the way that this is organized. And if you do know HTML, you might be somewhat limited within this Google Sites because it's really fill in the blank and you will have a website. So you don't have complete design control. And that, for people that are advanced users, that might be a problem. Me, I like the simple, easy. I'm in the edit mode now, so I'm still in my apps for education site, but I'm right here. And this is really important to understand that you can add files, you can move things around, anything can be deleted. I haven't used the subscribe to changes, but that would be really cool if somebody made a website maybe for homework, and a parent could subscribe to the changes so you would know when the website had been updated. You can see here that I have uploaded a snapshot and it's a JPEG. And so that's by clicking on add the file, I've went ahead and did that. The other thing is they are little widgets or gadgets, and you can add those to your website right from the list of all the available gadgets. So this one is Hangman that I just added to my math page. But what I really wanted you to take a look at is the 4 boxes below, which are what kind of page would you like to add? The action items, so that's designed for meetings, projects, things like that. Issue list. I haven't used that one, but that would be really good for like a help desk kind of thing. Track the status of individual units in your project. Not sure what that template will be. Create your own. Define how many columns that you want, which is great. Okay, now this one I love. This is my list of apps, and so you see the vocabulary app. You see that Here's the name of it. Here are the notes and the address. I love this template because it organizes everything and almost is a little database that's running on my website without me having to figure out how to set it up or worry about tables and functioning and things like that. So I love this one. Okay, so when you're editing, you open up, you've made your Google site. These are just a few of the things that you can add to your Google site. So let's take a few minutes to really think through this. So let's look at just the top grouping. So I already pointed out that you can add an image or a link to another website. Your table of contents will help organize everything. And if you really get into a complicated website, you might need the sub-page listing. So the main pages, and then what are some of the sub pages underneath that. Then you can add a horizontal line. The middle things are all things Google. So you could have, if you work with the AdSense program with Google, you could have those added. But this is the cool part, this next section. Your calendar, for example, can be embedded right into your Google site. Click, what calendar do you want? And it will automatically be embedded. What's nice about that is when you make the change in your Google Calendar, it will automatically flow out to any of the websites that it's been embedded into. The document, this would be any document that's created in Google Docs. So you could create everything in Google Docs and maybe, for example, homework. We'll go back to homework. You could make an assignment and that could be uploaded. And then again, that can be embedded right on the site. So student gets home, they forgot their homework. No worry, it's right here. The map, great, put in an address. You can have a map right there. Works well if you serve as a coach and you need to go to different schools in the area. How nice, you get all your maps on one page for your parents before the game or the event. Now, Picasa is Google's digital picture organizer. Oh, I love it. But what you can also do is create a slideshow of just the certain images that you'd like on your Google site. And again, similar to the calendar, you embed it. It automatically goes right into your Google site, which is nice. Presentation, that's also coming from Google Docs, where your spreadsheet and your forms. All of those, again, could be embedded right in there. So if you needed to collect some data from your students, you create a form, there it is on the web page. Make sure you have it done by next Tuesday. There's gadgets. This is where I got the gadget, the Hangman gadget. You can go in and select from all different gadgets that Google offers today. And they change all the time, which is really nice. Okay, here is my example of my tech camp. This is the one, if you look in the upper right-hand corner, this is the one that is private, and only 4 of us have access to this one. So I've shared it with 3 other people. The home of the Digital Rich Classroom. This is an outline, and you can see down the left goes into a lot more detail. This is more like the table of contents page. And then on the left are the sub pages that you go into the actual data. This is how you organize what way you want to have your page set up. Now, the nice part is you can pick 1 column today, and then you can switch it up to 3 columns next week if you want. Very simple. And what you do is you apply a template or the pretty colors around on your web page. And no matter which way you switch up your website, you can keep the template or you can select a different one. So you have some design control. Not as much as if you were talking in HTML, but you have control of your website. Okay, so this is back to which calendar would you like to insert? So you have to pick out your calendar, and that's the one that's going to go to that page. So let's say that you teach multiple sections. You might have a calendar for each period, and then a web page for each period, and then you can embed that specific calendar on that specific page, which really works out well. So here you would see period 1, period 2, period 3, and so on and so forth. Announcements. So you can go ahead and post announcements, and you could have those flow out to, maybe you have one set of announcements, you could flow out to multiple pages. You can go ahead and do that. This is how you do the Picasa web slideshow. Well, first of all, you'll have that all set up in the Picasa, and then you make it into a Picasa web album. And once you do that, you make a web album, you get the URL or the website address. That's what is going to go in the box at the top. So once you make it over in Picasa, then you're going to take that link and paste it right in there. Now, Picasa is a piece of software that has to be downloaded and installed. So unfortunately, I know some of you might be at a school where you can't install software. So unfortunately, that might become a problem. But please try to work around that because it's such a really nice way to organize your images. Okay, and then your slideshow options, how you want it to look, you pick out what you want, and then you make your decisions. So even though we're not talking HTML, you still have a lot of design control. Be careful in the gadget area if you're making a web page for school or church or something like that, because some of the gadgets could be a little edgy. Some of the gadgets also don't work all the time. Some of them work well and then they're not updated. So you really have to kind of pick and choose and check back to see if there's updates that need to be done or if the gadget's still fully functioning. So there's really nice things here. Not sure if you need Pac-Man on your math site. Maybe you do. But you can pick and choose out of all your choices for the gadgets. That's what they're called. In some other websites call them widgets. Google likes to call them gadgets. Okay, lots of things you can do. For example, four of us are looking at that one website, my Tech Camp agenda. If somebody went in and deleted the entire thing, no panic. I just go back to the revision history, and I can go back to before the changes and restore basically everything. So you got all your choices. You can move pages, you can delete, you can do all that things. Change your template. And when I looked a few weeks ago, there were hundreds. It said hundreds of thousands of templates. So there's something for you to pick from. Okay, this is not very exciting template, but this is kind of the background. This is the management side of my apps and education site, excuse me, and you can customize it, change the layout, change the header sidebar. I don't play with this very often because I just tend to just pick one that has the right number of columns that I want, and then I just kind of go with what they give me. But you can make changes, including inserting your logo and some alignment stuff and things like that. I haven't gone into the, on the left you see apps scripts. I haven't gone into that depth yet. And I also haven't figured out how to monetize it, which of course would be fun to investigate. These are kind of the boring ones. There's much more beautiful themes, and you can also build your own custom theme, which that's what I'm very interested in doing, and I could see that being really handy for a school that might have a custom theme with their logo or something to maybe unify and make some of the websites look similar if that's important to you. Now, the only trick to this is when you name your site. If you look at the address, that's why this site is here. So look where it says everyone's going to start with sites.google.com, and then pick your username the name of your site very carefully, because it is going to be in every address that you make. So you can see module 4, conquering info clutter. Probably should have stopped and used some type of code like MOD4 instead of that big name, because I don't think when I built this I realized that everything I named is going to be in my address. So you might want to think about that. Wish I had thought about that before. Okay, so that's just kind of the getting started. Every time you hit save, it's updates. You decide who you want to share it with or if you want to keep it private, and you can have a website without going through all those hoops of getting the domain, the software, FTPing, all that stuff. So I hope you enjoy Google Sites as much as I do. Thank you.